watching This Delhi Life, the show that talks about the city that belongs to you, me, we all live in it. And we're talking about theatre in this city of ours. We have with us Renu and Ravi. You're part of a theatre group that's been there for 28 years, but you've revived it recently, and you've done, Fiddler on the Roof. That was your most recent performance, is that it? So before we get into details on Fiddler on the Roof, what is the theatre group about and how did it come about? A little bit about it, please.
Yeah, see, the theatre group Dramatech was formed by few alumni of IIT Delhi. Of course, later it expanded to attract talent from other institutions, Delhi University, people from IIM Ahmedabad, other schools and colleges. But the genesis actually goes to our days in IIT. Like most colleges today, IIT was one of the few colleges where we used to have an annual Hindi and an annual English production directed by a professional from NST. So we had greats like M.K. Raina, B.M. Shah, Ravi Baswani,
all directors,
Ranjit Kapoor. They used to come there and direct a play with the students. And as it happened, we had a good talent in acting, in the backstage crafts, and the people used to be very passionate about theatre. Many taking as many as 7 years to pass out from it.
I think theatre and passion is something that kind of goes hand in hand. Otherwise, especially 20 years ago, keeping your interest alive in theatre without passion is almost impossible.
Yeah. So people were very thick into theatre. So when people passed out, they were looking to continue their involvement with theatre. And some of my juniors, from the 1980 batch, they got together, 3 of them, and they said, okay, let's form this group. And they started with, it was also a musical. It was a play called Bail Se Mudbhed.
Bail Se Mudbhed?
It was a Hindi translation of a Bengali play or a movie called Chutir Fande.
Okay.
So it had some nice peppy songs, and the first production was sponsored by IIT itself, the IIT Alumni Association. They paid us for it. So that's how we got started. Then for the next production, we moved to Shri Ram Center. First we did Molière's Bichu in Hindi, and then we did Tennessee Williams' The Glass Menagerie.
Okay.
Both of them were very well received, and from there on we kind of graduated into more serious theatre, so to say. So in the 80s, the group did several productions. I think we were producing about 3 new plays every year.
Oh, that's a lot for people who've got regular jobs, regular lives, to take time off and do 3 productions a year. 80s saw lots of productions or not so many?
80s through about 90 or early 90s, we did lot many productions. We did about 15 or 16, more than that, plays. And then the word had spread to the working people that if you are from, let's say, an IIT or an IIM, and people get transferred, if you are transferred to Delhi, if you're working there,
spread the word around.
Just go to Dramatech, and if you are interested in theatre, do a play or the other. So people used to, do plays with us, 3 or 4 productions, then used to get transferred somewhere else and so on.
So it was like a floating membership, floating.
And luckily people in the corporate sector, so they used to get us advertising for the brochures, and that's how we used to raise the financing. Because tickets alone cannot pay for a play. Tickets pay for about 50%, rest 50% has to come from other sources. So that's the way it used to go, and we had a lot of talented directors, because we decided early on that we will not be a group of 1 or 2 directors, like most of the theatre groups are. So we said we will support anybody who wants to do a play. Anybody who has a good script, he wants to take up a production, we'll support him. We'll with finance and backstage and so on.
So why the need for sort of kind of like a revival? Obviously, people moved out, moved on.
You see, because for about 10 years, what happened was the key people were out of the city. Out of the city. There were a lot of other youngsters, but I would say people who were used to directing and picking out scripts and things like that had moved out of Delhi, and they were in that really growing time of their careers. So for that, for almost
take time out.
No, we were out of the city. Basically, we were out of the city. So we were, for about almost 10 years, there were people not there, and then we came back to Delhi. I mean, Sanjeev, my husband Sanjeev and I, we moved back to Delhi, and there were 1 to more people who came back. And then, of course, the same thing started.
Now what? What next?
Why not?
So you've done Fiddler on the Roof in Hindi.
Yeah.
How did you manage the translation of the lyrics and putting it to the original music, I assume?
Yeah, to the original music. That's all Ravi's.
Yeah, see, translation, of course, I had translated the plays into Hindi earlier. I had done 2 Agatha Christie plays, 10 Little Niggers and Witness for the Prosecution in the 80s, when, you know, the first phase that I was talking about. So translation, I was used to doing it. You know, there was another Sherlock Holmes play which I did in Hindi. And in this case, you know, in the intervening years, I had developed my interest in music a bit more. You know, we used to organize musical evenings again for the IIT alumni, you know, because that kind of seems the easiest thing for us to do. Just go to IIT and, you know, because...
Once an IITian, always an IITian, yes.
And the resources are there, you know, we have the finance to do things. We have a ready audience also, because there are these thousands of alumni.
So are you going to sing us something from...
Yeah, okay, let me, you know, so if I'll just hum the English song first, the opening line, so that people can recall the, so it goes something like this. If I were a rich man, da-ba-di-ba-di-ba-da-ba-di-ba-di-ba-di-ba-di, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, okay, and then it goes on and on. So the way we did it in Hindi was, Jo main hota mala 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 mal, din bhar karta la 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 la, jo main hota mala mal, kuch nahi karta la 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 la, पाँव पसारे बैठा रहता जो मैं होता माला माल, गाँव के बीचों बीच में घर एक बना था ऊंचा चौड़ा सा, 2 कमरे हो ऊपर नीचे 2, एक सीढ़ी हो जो ऊपर जाए उससे लंबी नीचे को, और एक तीजी सिर्फ दिखाने को, और मेरी बीवी यहाँ वहाँ चलती फिरती नजरें दौड़ाती, जैसे कोई हो वो सेठानी, नौकर चाकर डरते फिरते छुपते उससे जब वो आती, रौब चलाती करती मनमानी, हाँ जो मैं होता लारा 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 ला, दिन भर करता लारा लारा ला, जो मैं होता माला माल. Something.
Well, from professional theatre to amateur theatre, which sounds like equal amount of fun. Lucian, you've done plays and you've done movies as well. So is theatre a stepping stone to the movies, or is it just something that you do to keep various interests alive in?
You always ask this question, right? Is it a stepping stone? Well, there are 2 ways of looking at it. A lot of the NST graduates obviously want to move into films, not because they don't have the passion for theatre, I think, because it just doesn't give them money. And you can't deny this, you know, people who have a passion for theatre.
If you let people sort of sell yourself cheaply, then we'll just end up doing that.
How is it going to rise? Absolutely. How is it going to come to that, that positioning, you know? And talking about films,